Okay, guys, this is part 6 of what I titled What is Truth? A True Witness. And not sure if this will be the last one, depending on time, but I'm going to try to get it out now and see if we can't wrap this up and move on to other things. I want to start with Revelations chapter 12, the woman, the child, and the dragon. Now a great sign in heaven appeared, and a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 stars. Then, being with child, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. Okay. And another sign appeared in heaven, and behold, a great fiery red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 diadems on his head. And his tail drew a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to give birth, to devour her child as soon as it was born. There in verse 3, chapter 12 here in Revelations, speaks of a fiery dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 diadems on his heads. We're going to go into chapter 13 directly after this, and you'll see this is the same dragon, the same beast it is speaking of there. Verse 5, she bore a male child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God that they should feed her there 1,260 days. I'm not going to read all of it, but basically war broke out in heaven. The dragon was cast down. Everybody rejoiced because he wasn't there to accuse anymore in heaven. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because the devil came down to you. He knows he has a short time. He spewed water out of his mouth like a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon has spewed out of his mouth. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her offspring, who kept the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So I'm just bringing this to your attention of the birthing pains. You see on your screen Matthew 24:8. He speaks all these things must happen. They're the beginning of birthing pains. Birthing pains, guys. Do you understand that? That is Christ, the truth, the man-child that is to rule all nations with an iron rod, that was caught up to heaven, to God's throne that is within you, heaven within you, the throne within you. We've discussed all that. This is Christ. What is Christ? Christ is the truth. Understand this. Child being born is the truth within inside you, travailing in pain. Why? Because you're not gonna like it. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna have to swallow some pride. You're gonna have to repent. You're gonna have to change your ways. You're gonna have to stop thinking that you got it all and you're rich and in need of nothing. No, that's why it hurts. That's why it's called labor pains. You are in pain to give birth to this child called Christ. That is truth. He's being birthed inside you. Now, are you going to reject that child within you? That's Christ in you. That's how he's coming within you. He is going to be birthed in you. A virgin. 5 wise, 5 foolish. 5 wise had enough oil to make it through. 5 foolish, not enough. They didn't make it. The door was shut. They were told to go and buy and sell from those. This is what it is, guys. This is your second coming of Christ. This is the labor pains. Now the whole world is in labor pains right now. Yes, chaos, things building, things travailing and pain for everybody. But I'm speaking of a man-child within you that is called Christ, that needs to be born within you. That, my friends, is the second coming of Christ within you. Now, I wasn't going to, but maybe this is important. I'm going to break this chapter down for you guys spiritually that are blind and don't understand what this is talking about. It says, now a great sign appeared in heaven, the woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and her head with garland of 12 stars. Heaven is within you, okay? It's within you. Heaven is within. Now, there is within and there is without, as above, so below. There was also a literal sign in the heavens. And this was September 23rd, 2017. This sign took place, the sign of Virgo, where the sun was at her head, planets aligned for the first time, 12, added up to 12, and the moon was under her feet. Jupiter stayed in her stomach and retrograded for 9 months. That literally happened. This was when things started to begin for those that were searching and seeking at that time. Those that he found searching and seeking at that time. Then being with child, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to wake up to all the lies, to start understanding everything was a lie around you. Everything you've been told, taught, your churches, your parents, everything that came out of anybody's mouth was a lie. It was hard to deal with in the beginning. And yeah, there was a lot of pain, a lot of tears, a lot of understanding when the truth from within started teaching you. It was painful to give birth. And another sign appeared in heaven. Oh, the great fiery dragon, okay? This is the guy, 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 diadems on his heads. I'm not going to go into great detail with this. This is basically religion. This is your system of the world, backed by religion. The serpent, the dragon from the garden, the very beginning. This is the deceiver. This is the religion. His tail drew through the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to give birth to devour the child as soon as it was born. Yeah, a third of the stars, that a third, 1/3, what's going to be burnt up? Remember? 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 of grass, 1/3 of trees, 1/3 of all these things. Okay, this is what's being cast out of you. Lies. All the lies that we had inside us. that's being cast out. The dragon, the devil, what? Satan. He is the father of all lies. So that's what's being cast out of you. He's waiting to devour the child as soon as it was born. So as soon as this started happening, what did you have? You started realizing things. You started comprehending things. Things weren't adding up. Religion didn't make sense to you anymore. You started figuring out, hey, there's something wrong here. So you start telling people, and people start basically pointing the finger at you, saying you're crazy, you're a devil, you got the spirit of the devil in you. They want to change your mind. They want to tell you you're off track. You're going the wrong way, man. That's that dragon. That's him standing before them. As soon as it was born, he's waiting to deceive, waiting to trick them, change their mind, deny the child that's being born truth, Christ in them. She bore a male child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and the child was caught up to God in his throne. That's Christ, the rod of iron. God in his throne, that's within you. That's your mind. That's where he sits. The woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared for God that they should feed her there 1,260 days. That's 3.5 years. She was going to be taken care of. She was going to be being taught for this amount of time. She's no longer in the religion. She walked out of the church building. She walked away from everything, away from the world. And war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. This is a battle. This is a war spiritually that's going on inside you, within your mind. Literally. When you start coming to the truth, I'm telling you, it is a battle. It is a war going on within you. But they did not prevail, or was a place found for them in heaven any longer. Once the truth manifests itself to you, you no longer hold on to those lies. You no longer let them sit in you. You cast them out. They're no longer there. You no longer believe in them. So the great excuse me. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. No more lies living in you. Now Christ has taken over, sitting in his throne. You don't believe that stuff anymore. You can see through the lies. Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now salvation and strength and the kingdom of God and the power of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before our God day and night, has been cast down. That's what it is. That's all your war. That's all your battle. That's all the things you fight with inside yourself. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they did not love their lives to the death. They no longer dwell on this earth. They can't stand it. They let go of everything. They no longer live here. They're no longer worried about money and jobs and finances and houses and cars and all your material things. They don't care anymore. The truth is within them. Even if they're ready to die for it. Therefore, rejoice, O heaven, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, Okay, so the heavens, you with inside yourself, you're rejoicing. You no longer are the same person. You no longer dwell the way you used to, think the way you used to, operate the way you used to. You no longer worry about anything. Life changes completely for you. If you truly have that child Christ in you, you will not be able to operate in this world as you used to. It's impossible. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. The earth and the sea. That's all peoples. That's all peoples, tongues, nations. Everybody out there that doesn't have that child, Christ, the truth within him, he's coming for you. He's going to deceive you in a very bad way because you reject truth. You reject Christ. You don't want to accept it. You want to continue believing in your ways and your lies that you believe. That's that dragon you're married to, Satan. That's your husband. Having great wrath because he knows that he has a short time. Now when the dragon saw that he had been cast to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child. Okay? So when all the lies are cast out and you have people standing in front of you, your pastors, your family members, people you're trying to wake up, people you're trying to get to understand something, and their pride won't let them see it because they're so stuck and so certain in what they believe. They're the ones persecuting you. Understand? That's the devil. That's the dragon within them. That's their husband. They're one with the beast. They are the beast. They are Satan. Worshippers. Believers. They don't even know it. They're the ones standing before you, persecuting you, calling you a devil, calling you a Satan worshiper and a deceiver, and what you were saying and believe and the truth that's coming out of your mouth now is rejected, denied, just like it was back then. Same thing they told Christ. Okay. But the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the presence of the serpent. So these people, more than likely, they've given it all up. They're no longer in the world. They're no longer part of it. They've moved on. And wherever they are, God's taking care of them himself. He's providing for them himself. They are without want or need of anything. They are taken care of. And the serpent, that devil, that religion is nowhere near them anymore. So the serpent spewed water out of his mouth like a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. So the serpent, that's the devil, that's Satan, the father of all lies. What comes out of his mouth? Lies, water. So right now, if you haven't noticed in the world, all the information and disinformation, fake news, all the junk that's going on, nobody knows what's true, what to believe, what to think, all the stuff going on, nobody has a clue. Even if truth was standing there in front of their face, they wouldn't even know it. There's so much out there right now. It's designed that way, to confuse you, to keep you deceived. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. So it's not going to touch you. It is not going to come to you no more. It was cast down to the earth. It no longer dwells in you. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her offspring, who kept the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. These are the rest of her offspring. Okay, these are those that maybe they haven't fully came to the whole knowledge, to the whole birth of Christ within them. But it doesn't mean they're lost, because they still hold to the name of Christ, and they have a testimony of truth in their mouths. They may not have all the religion in them, and maybe they never have, but truth comes from their mouth. They are a light. Okay, so that spiritual breakdown of the woman, the child, and the dragon. This, I can tell you for certain, as a true witness, has already taken place. I've seen it myself. I've experienced it myself. I've seen my wife experience it also herself in the same exact way that it happened to me. This has been an ongoing process for us for a little over almost 4 years now. And we continue with it. We've sold all that we had. We've left the country of the United States. We no longer dwell there. We no longer work. Have not held a job in 4 years. And I'm in need of nothing. I have more than enough. More than enough. I have no want or no need. The miracles that I've seen with my own eyes and have experienced here where I'm at is a witness to me. So this is happening, guys. Like it or not, believe it or not, call me a deceiver, a devil, whatever you want to say, makes no difference to me. This is the truth, and you're missing it, just like they missed it back then. You are going to miss it again, because you were told to look for Christ as coming in a different way. That is not going to happen. It says that he would come with the clouds. I went over that in part 5 at the end there. Cometh. In Strong's G2064 is ergame, which means to appear with clouds. Clouds G3507. Continue on to G3509 means nephos, a dense crowd, a large multitude of witnesses. That's cloud, not a literal cloud, not what you've been told, not a literal man dressed in fine linen coming through the clouds above your house. No. He's coming through a cloud of witnesses, true witnesses that have witnessed the crucifixion, the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ within themselves. They are the true witnesses, and he is a witness of them. He's not coming the way you've been told and taught, and you're missing it. So My purpose here is not to condemn you, point a finger at you, judge you, none of that. My only purpose here is to try to wake up, even if it's just one person that hears this and takes it serious and goes in and looks for themselves everything that I've been telling you throughout these series, throughout these parts, so that you may also become a true witness of Christ in the flesh. He's not coming any other way, guys. They're deceiving you very badly. And the longer you stay without truth, without Christ, the harder it's going to be for you to wake up. You see, Christ is waking up in his, but Satan is waking up in his as well. You are going to have a very bad attitude going forward. Hate-filled and cold-hearted. A great enmity is going to be set before us, and already has been. I myself thought I would be capable of still being able to withstand the deceivers and the deniers and speak to them, but I quickly learned that's not the case. See, I hate the lies. I hate the liar. And all I can see is that devil that's in them. So enmity has, yes, definitely taken a hold of myself. I hate the lie, and they can't stand the truth. They think the truth is a lie, and they can't stand to even hear it be spoken. That devil that is within them, that they are married to, that beast, the image of the beast that I will get into. I will probably go into part 7. I thought this was important to go through. But yes, there's an enmity between Christ's seed, the truth, and Satan's seed, the lie, the Antichrist. And it is a war. This is why he said, in those days, they'll turn against each other. Mother against father, father against son, and daughter against brother. They're all gonna fight against each other. And it's okay. To be honest, I'm at peace with it. Like, it doesn't bother me. I thought I would be more bothered to lose my family members, but it hasn't fazed me one bit. I've been given peace, a peace not of this world. It can't touch me. I feel sorry for them. With all my heart I do. I try reaching out to them, but I can't stand the lies in their mouths. I can't stand it. I can't stand to hear them speak lies from their mouth and proclaim blasphemies as truth in the sight of my God. I can't do that anymore. I can't deal with it. So I'd rather not. And I guess this is the part of enmity that I didn't realize. I thought I would be able to handle, but no. It's not like that. I love everybody. I love every one of you out there, and even if my family actually took the time to even listen to one of these videos, which I highly doubt, but if you are listening, I love you, and my door is always open if you want to come and look at some of this stuff with me and go over stuff, I could do that peaceably. But I can no longer tolerate your beliefs and your lies. So it will be hard for us to sit down and accomplish that. But I'm willing to try if you are. And for the rest of you, everybody, do your best. Do your best. Deny yourself. Deny everything that is within you. Go inside yourself. Go in your closet. Shut that door. Take the time. It's now. You need to take the time now. I don't know how much time is left, but I'm pretty sure if this child is being born, Christ within us at this point in time that we are witnesses of, it's gotta be close, man. It's gotta be close. So I encourage all of you, take this serious. Go through these videos and go through them. Look at the scriptures. Go into your Strongs. Look up definitions. It's not what you think. It's not what you've been told. It's not what your church taught you. It's not what your mommy and daddy taught you either. Unfortunately, most of them were deceived as well. But God knows. God's merciful and graceful. So it's in His hands. Well, these are the birthing pains, guys. This I thought was important. And it's absolutely necessary that you understand this is the second coming of Christ. This is how it will come and how it is already come. It's already began. You are missing it. If you are not in labor and pain to give birth to this child called Christ, the truth, if you are not dealing with that kind of pain, then I'm sorry to tell you, Christ is not in you, and you have not been chosen. You need to go into your closet. You need to repent. You need to take the time and understand this. And as soon as possible. I don't think the rest of your life is important right now. I do believe you're gonna lose everything in just a short while. So these videos I'm posting are a witness, a true witness to you. In due time, it will be noted as truth. I'll see you guys in part 7. Love everybody. Take care.